Hello, I'm Kate Mackay, film curator here at the Berkeley Art Museum and Pacific Film Archive, and I'm glad to welcome you back to Documentary Voices 2026. This iteration of the annual series is co-curated with Denise Gukturk and presented in conjunction with the Documentary Forms class, so welcome Documentary Forms students. Tonight's Documentary Visions, Documentary Voices, it's Alternative Visions in the fall. Tonight's Documentary Voices program also intersects with BAMPFA's African Film Festival, a long-running collaboration with the African Film Festival in New York. And we'd like to extend a big thank you to Mahan Benetti and Devin Powell for their continued dedication to bringing African cinema to the Big Apple and beyond. Thanks also to Barbara Montaro and the Department of African American Studies, and to Duncan Omanga and James Davies and the MasterCard Foundation Scholars Program here at UC Berkeley for supporting these screenings and helping to get the word out. And coming up this weekend, we'll be screening Fatou Cissé's Furu, which will be introduced by one of the MasterCard scholars, Pechukwi Lorata. So we look forward to welcoming you back on the weekend for Furu. Just a word about Furu. It's a powerful social drama, and it's directed by the daughter of the legendary Malian filmmaker Souleymane Cissé, who was here. Just his film was the last film we showed before we had to shut down before the pandemic. So it's sort of a bittersweet memory, but it was a very, very memorable screening to have such an amazing filmmaker in the house. And we were sorry we had to cut his retrospective short because of the global pandemic, but we're glad now that we're able to present this amazing film by his daughter, which explores the impact and psychological consequences of forced marriage on young women. It offers an urgent reflection on gender, autonomy, and resistance within a patriarchal society. But tonight, we're here for Sami Baloji's gripping documentary, The Tree of Authenticity, and delighted that another one of the amazing MasterCard scholars, Victor Ochieng, is here to introduce the film. Victor is a documentary filmmaker and a Master of Journalism candidate here at UC Berkeley, whose work focuses on gun violence prevention, community resilience, and public storytelling. He's contributed to Emmy-recognized documentary productions with PBS, Northern California Public Media, and previously worked with international media and humanitarian organizations across Africa. Victor is also the founder of Sima Radio, a Nairobi-based online community radio platform amplifying youth voices and grassroots change. At Berkeley, he actively leads cultural and community initiatives, including the Kenya Diversity, as is in Have a Cup of Tea, program at International House. So please join me in welcoming Victor Ochieng to introduce The Tree of Authenticity.
Thank you so much. I'm truly grateful. That was a very interesting introduction. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being part of this great film. And my name is Victor Ochieng, just as I've been introduced, and it's an honor to introduce this film. Before we begin, I want to leave you with a line that actually caught my eyes, and throughout watching the film, I had to pause and rewind, because the line did not feel just as a pure statement. It was more of a challenge. This is the line. If the voices and the pleas of Africans are not heard, then colonialism is simply rationalized vandalism. Let me repeat. If the voices and the plea of Africans are not heard, then colonialism is simply rationalized vandalism. That line sits at the center of what the film is all about. This is not just a film about history. It's a film about memory. It's a film about power. Who gets to speak and who gets ignored. The Tree of Authenticity takes us into a space where culture, identity, and truth are not abstract ideas, but ideas that actually lived. There are ideas that are actually contested, and sometimes there are ideas that are taken. Ladies and gentlemen, what stayed with me is how the film does not try to comfort you, but though it doesn't. It does not simplify things. Instead, the film greatly asks you to sit with a lot of discomfort, to question what you think you know, and to listen. And for me, this became so personal. As a filmmaker and a Kenyan, I grew up learning history in a way that felt distant. We were being told who we were instead of discovering it on our own. And even now, the feeling does not fully go away because the efforts of colonialism are not just something we read about. The efforts of colonialism end up showing in how land is owned, in how stories are told, and even in how we see ourselves. So, this film is not just about the past. It's about what we carry. It's about what we choose to confront. It will be largely agreed that until we listen fully, until we take ownership of our stories, that line still holds. And that colonialism does not end. Colonialism adapts. So, as you watch this film, kindly pay attention to the voices, not just what is being said, but what has been silenced, what has been interrupted, and what has been rewritten. Ask yourself, whose story is this, and who is telling it? Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Victor Ochieng, and enjoy the film.